Hello, everyone. I am so beyond excited because this course is the last class that we're going to be teaching live for the QSCA. And so I'm really grateful because along, the 12 years that the QSCA has happened, or 11 years, I think it is, there's been a lot of changes and information on the knowledge that I have as a coach. And so I'm really grateful to be able to add that information into this very last class. Also be able to, excuse me, to be able to add in one of my biggest, loves right now, where I am on my leading edge, is quantum energy mastery, and be able to have that module so that you all can learn it, and also to be able to use some of the processes with it. So a couple of things before we go into the class stuff. Today is Module 1, Class 1, Effective Coaching Skills. And hopefully all of you have listened to the introductory video that I did for everybody. Now, that video is really important because it used to be our very first class of the QSCA, where we would walk you through the manual and tell you where you could find everything and who's your team members and your requirements. And I mean, it's got everything in this manual. I happen to have mine bound and printed out. You could certainly do that. But the manual is going to be your Bible for this, this course. And so that video really takes you through what do you need to know to set yourself up for success for this class. How do you find things? Who do you go to? And it's really going to help you. So if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend that you do. If you have watched it, thank you, because it's really important information to help you navigate this course. So if you didn't review it, please make sure you do as soon as you can. So one of the things that I talked about in the video is that we are going to, the structure of these classes together, we're going to have an intention, and then we're going to also have a checkout. The intentions, if you can write them in the chat, I'll go through the chat and just, randomly pick a few of them. And I'm not going to read all of them, but just to get us into the place of what our intentions are. And then at the end of class, I'm going to unmute a couple of people just to get takeaways. You're also welcome to put your takeaways in the chat as well. And sometimes I'll read those depending on the flow of the class. So wanted to let you know that we're going to do that in a minute. As I had said in the video, if you did watch it, my intention really is to surprise and delight all of you. And you'll be getting so many resources to help you along this journey. And I'm just super honored that you said yes. And I love what I do, and I'm grateful that I get to do this. And many times throughout the day, I pinch myself because I'm so grateful that this is like the profession that I have. And I'm just very grateful for those of you and your trust for being here. So I just wanted to say that before we go in. So let me go and do the intentions. Let me see. Let me gather my intentions. Okay. Where's all the intentions? Nobody put your intention. Ah, there we go. Marie, thank you. My intention is to learn with joy. Love it. Let's see here. Julie, my intentions for class inspiration and embodiment. Love it. Thank you, Julie. Let me see if anybody else did it. Sonica, am I saying that right, Sonica? Right? Okay. Because I don't know if it's Sonica or but Sonica, right? The last one, Sonic. Okay, perfect. To transform my life and then others. Awesome. Valerie, to continue to expand into divine alignment. Thank you. Here we go. Now they're all coming in. Allison, to learn with joy and excitement. Nikki, to engage with focus and joy. Beautiful. Bill, to begin the journey of deliberate creation abilities. Beautiful. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate that. So just a reminder, you will have a worksheet for each of the different classes. The worksheets are in the membership portal, and you'll have those for each and every week. And if you don't have it with you, you can either quickly just download it or take notes, print it. But where it's going to be is in your, like I mentioned in the video, It's going to be in your membership area. All things that you need for the class are going to be in that membership portal on the website. And you'll always have a worksheet that will accompany the class. And the class worksheets are always uploaded the day after your class. So the worksheet for the second class will actually be uploaded tomorrow, and along with the recording of this class. And that way you'll have plenty of time to download, to print it, however you want to utilize it in class. And there are many ways that you can use the worksheet. You could use it as a PDF file. You can download it and type into the worksheet. So you could have it on your computer, and wherever you see the blank marks, blank lines, there's a place for you to actually click it and be able to put your answers in there. You can copy and paste it onto a Word document if you want, save it in that way. You can print it out and just fill in the answers. And, you know, so there's lots of different ways you can utilize it, but you definitely want to write down the answers, because hint, hint, the exam for those of you going for certification will come right from these worksheets. And that's really where the resource for all the information will be coming from. So it's important to make sure that you get them. During this time, when I talk about a certain point, and there might be different places, like on the, if you look on the second page where it says from doing to being a coach, like there's a lot of fill in the blanks there. I'll make sure to stop, review the words so that you get everything. You guys are all here, you have your chat, everybody's really supportive. And, you know, if someone's missing, say 1A or whatever, 2B, whatever that is, you could just say, hey, what was that one? And someone will also help you out. So, you know, there's always someone to help you out, either in your classmates that did receive it, but I will always go through it as well, just to cross-check that. So let's go into the good stuff. Today we are going into effective coaching skills. And this is really the first class of the first module. And we're going to go through the worksheets, and I'm going to talk to you also about what a structure of a coaching session looks like. And then we're going to, you know, you can just write notes on another piece of paper, because that particular isn't in your worksheets. So the first thing on your worksheets, you'll need a pen to fill it out. To be an effective coach, you'll see where the blank lines are. You'll want to fill in those parts. To be an effective coach, you must start from the authentic part of who you are. Now, some of this information may be a little basic, but there's a reason. We need to build, we need to all start from a platform and then build up, right? So we're starting with the basics of being a coach. Most of you have never coached before, so it's really important, because being a coach, there's a lot of things that I see coaches that call themselves a life coach that have never been certified, and they can actually do more damage than not, because they don't know what not to do, and more importantly, what to do. So as to do you all a service and to make sure that you are the best trained coaches, that everything is coming from the basics. It's like, you know, a basketball player constantly practicing free throws, so that when it really matters, they're, you know, being able to dunk that basketball into the net. So that's really where we're starting out. And as we go through, it'll deepen and everything will build. So this is really the foundational stuff. But the first word that you're going to write in there is, to be an effective coach, you must start from that authentic part of who you are. The next point is your own inner being. Your own inner being, your non-physical part of you, is your primary tool for being a great coach. So your inner being, that non-physical part of you, that old, wise, infinite intelligence, the one that even brought you here to this dance, always knows exactly what you need to bring to your clients, and what your clients needs more than you as a human being, and trust me, I've been a coach for 18 years, will ever be able to prepare for. So when I first started coaching, I was also working a full-time job, and I was a pharmaceutical sales rep, and then I was a pharmaceutical sales trainer. And I was still doing my coaching because I knew that that's what I wanted to move into. So I was coaching clients at night and on weekends. And I would come home from a 9-10 hour day sometimes and, you know, have a coaching client. And for me, having a coaching client was something that just got me excited, that, you know, I felt drained all day because I didn't want to be doing it. And then I get my coaching client and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And I was really effective as a coach at that point. But on one particular night, I will never forget this. I was working with a client. I knew I had client Tamara coming up, and I was exhausted. I just didn't have I didn't feel like I had any life force energy in me at all. So how was I going to, you know, provide to this client? And what was I going to prepare for and all this kind of stuff? And I literally just gave it up. I'm like, all right, help me out with this one because I'm tired, right? And I said, be my mouth, be my wisdom, be my guidance, because I have Tamara, I have this client, and I want her to be able to get the information and the shifts and, you know, soothing her energy as much as she can out of this coaching session together. But I'm resourceless and I need you. And so I invited spirit, divine, non-physical in. And I just relinquished my own ideas of what needed to happen, and I just let it go. And I for the first time, I was always present in coaching sessions, but for the first time, and this is what makes this course and this material and this level of transformation different in the QSCA than most other coaching programs out there, is that I relinquished my own physicalness and just said, all right, I'm just going to show up as an authentic being, almost like a channel for this client. And that was, at that point in time, the best coaching session I had ever done. And my client, who had been my client for a good year before that, had the most quantum leap during that particular session and had huge realizations. And I wasn't afraid to say whatever came through, because I know it was ideas that spirit was telling me about her, because there were things that came through. I was just open, that I was able to tell her that she never even confided in me about what needed to be shifted. And Tamara was like, oh my God, how did you even know that? I'm like, I don't know, I'm just receiving it. So when you come from that authentic part of your being, right? When you had, like, I would get mental pictures and then describe the pictures, and she was like, oh my God, it's like you're inside my head, right? At that point forward, I started coaching from that authentic part of myself, and only from that part, because, you know, I'm pretty good as a coach myself. But when I can evoke the divine into a coaching session, and now what I do with the Council of Light and channel for someone in a healing session, it's so far better for the client than I can ever do for myself. And you'll see as a huge difference in how you are with a client, because there's no nervousness, there's no fear, there's no apprehension, because you just understand that you're showing up. The client has the intention for what the call is. You have processes that you take them through. You have a structure of a call. But as you're inviting your divine being to be the one that guides all of it, it's amazing and astonishing and magical what actually can happen. So when I get on a coaching session, before I get on that session with that client, I don't prepare anything. I don't say, okay, I'm going to do this process or talk to him about that process. You know, what I do is I connect with myself. I connect with my own inner being. I invite my inner being to be present. And then I connect with the spirit of the soul of the person that I'm going to be coaching. And I just declare, please come through me. Be my voice, use my body, give me the information that I need to have to help this other person have that leap that they're needing, to be able to be the catalyst for what they need. Give me the proper question to ask, give me the proper tools to use. And that way I'm putting myself aside and allowing my authentic being to show up and to be the guide, to be the coach. So you'll see the next paragraph on your worksheet. You will encourage your clients to be themselves. So if you're showing up as an authentic being, you're then encouraging them to be themselves and to be able to expand beyond their limitations. That's what coaching is. That's what the transformational coaching really is. Your client, at a certain point, you obviously want them to get beyond the certain point that they're at, beyond their own limitations, and to become a stronger, more alive, infused with spirit person. And clients achieve better results because they have expanded. And that's really the gifts that you give to clients. You know, think about it this way. Clients, you, me, all of us, when we're in our own minds, we're in tunnel vision. We kind of see things the way we see it. We can only see what we see. We have our limited perspectives. But when you have a coach helps you go from tunnel vision to total vision, because there's someone almost like an angel looking out and seeing, but did you look at that aspect, right? Because there's someone out there that can point it out to you. I can catch my clients if they're repeating a negative thing that they're saying and say, do you realize what you keep saying? You know, because I'll have clients that say, well, I don't understand why, you know, such and such isn't manifesting. Maybe a client wants to sell a house, but they keep talking about how horrible the real estate agent is, or how horrible the market is right now, right? And well, you're certainly not going to sell your house if your desire is to sell your house, but you have a disbelief that you'll be able to sell your house because, you know, of all these other conditions. And because they're inside their own minds, believing what they're believing, they're in their own limitations and they can't see that. So as a coach, you want to just point out where their limitations are. And they then become more of who they are, which is an aligned, abundant human being, when they expand. And you're helping them with that expansion. And within law of attraction, because of that, their own successes will reflect that shift. You know, I said shift. That didn't sound like that. We all do this as humans. You know, I even was talking to Frederick, my husband, yesterday. About a month or so ago, maybe even longer, it might be like 3 months now, it was in the summer. We had the unit upstairs in our, like the second level of the house. It wasn't running very well. So the boys were hot. And so we had a air conditioning guy come out and excuse me, what he told us was, well, your unit, you know, needs some repair, but you're going to need 3 new units because they're old. And so, and they're about $5,000 a piece. So if we replace all 3 of the units, obviously it's $15,000. So, excuse me. And so for my husband, he's been like freaking out about that, which I'm like, I don't know why he is, but that's his own thing. And so, you know, we got the thing fixed. We don't need a new unit at this point. I have a point to the story, and I usually do. So we're walking the dog yesterday, and he goes, oh, I was talking to our neighbor, Susanna, about the units and how they're going to need to be replaced. And then she was talking about how Herb's broke down. And I looked at him and I go, why would you engage in a conversation with the neighbor and start activating what you're afraid of? First of all, why are you afraid of? Our units right here, right now are working perfectly. Like, we don't need any repairs. But if you keep focusing on that we're going to need to replace these units, and that's where you're focusing your energy, what's going to happen is you're going to create where we have to replace the units quicker than we would have needed to. And then by you talking with the neighbor and her telling you how bad it is and how they had to spend money on theirs, you're activating that in your vibration. And I'm like, so do you want to spend $15,000 right now on air conditioning units? I'm fine if that's what you want to do, but is that what you want to do? And he's like, well, no, I don't want to do that. I go, then stop talking about it and just know that all is well. We've got perfect units. And he knows this, right? So he's just like, oh God, I can't believe I was doing that. He could like see it. That's what most people don't get that they're doing, because they think that they're facing reality. And when you're facing reality, you're creating more of what you don't want. So that's the cool thing about being a coach and being able to help clients see that, so that they're understanding from a different point of view and a different perspective why they're not manifesting what they're wanting. So let's go through all of those words really quick so that you have all of them. And so the first part is you want to be an effective coach, you must start from that authentic part of who you are. The next one is your own inner being. Your own, hang on, there's a, to be an effective coach, you must start from that authentic part of who you are. Okay, so it doesn't have 3 lines, but your own inner being is your primary tool for being a great coach. So your own inner being. And then you will encourage your clients to be themselves, to expand beyond their limitations. So limitations is the word there. And to become a stronger and more alive person. And then clients achieve better results because they have expanded. So then we're going to go into the fill in the blanks next. So number 1 on your worksheet after that first paragraph, authenticity. Being an authentic coach with your own personal style. Do not be me. Do not be some other coach that you know. Yes, you're becoming a law of attraction coach, but don't try to be like anybody else. Don't be someone that you're not. Be yourself. And that's when you're going to be the best coach, when you're coming from your own authentic being, your own strengths, your own skills. And we're going to look at some of those today to really get you into yourself. What this course will do is get you to know yourself so completely well that you will get to understand where are you limited in your thinking about yourself, and where are you being able to then expand that limitation. That's why there's so much growth, is that this course helps you really get to know yourself better and become more empowered and more aware. So you want to be able to coach from the center of your own authentic being, connected to your own well-being, and which is always there with you, connected to your source, whatever you want to call it, infinite intelligence. That's when you're going to be the most authentic and effective coach. So I want you to know that each and every one of you, as you sit here right now, have as much value as you will ever have. You are valuable just as you are in this moment. Each and every one of you has the potential to be a phenomenal coach, and you have so much value to offer someone. The fact that you are called to be here means that a deeper part of you called you to be a coach. And that in and of itself, you cannot add more value. You already have that value within you. You are enough just as you are right now to be a successful and really great coach. You have everything you need within you. You have connection with your inner being, and that never goes away. You all have access to higher wisdom, and that inner being within you is always with you. And as our personalities and our skill set and our talents and our all that evolve, we get to align more with that inner being. And if our personalities maybe aren't as evolved as we would like them to be, there's a larger part of us, the non-physical part of us, that has all the answers, that knows exactly what your clients need. It knows exactly what you need, or that you're wanting, or what you're desiring in your life. So just let that settle into you and start to understand that just because you're breathing, because you have the divine flowing through you, you are valuable, and you are perfect, you are whole, and you are complete in this moment. Nothing is missing from you. And when you start to feel that, you're coming from a space of abundance. In the second module, the 7 Essential Laws module, we're going to dig deep into all 7 of those laws. And one of the biggest laws, if you've been following me for any time, if you've read any of my books, if you've ever watched any of my videos, law of attraction is an important law, but it's the law of sufficiency and abundance that pulls all the laws together. And when you become